What's up, everybody? So today I wanted to talk about a little bit about what silver looks like versus what gold looks like. So here on the right we have, give or take, approximately 4,000. Let's see, a little over $4,000 worth of silver on the right, and on the left, you're looking at probably about $5,000 worth of gold. When you look at the right, it may not be obvious, but there's a lot more weight there on the silver side. The benefit to that is that something like this, which is the 100-ounce bar from Pam Suisse, something like this, let's say silver goes up $1 an ounce, which actually happens fairly commonly now. This bar just gained $100 worth of value. Same thing with the Royal Canadian Mint bar next to it. So the value of having something like this is you're keeping one giant asset where you can get pretty decent growth if the price, goes up on silver in one bar. So, for example, if the price of silver went back to $50, which it was around in 2011, I believe, this bar right here by itself would be approximately $5,000. Again, you might get a little bit less under spot because it's such a big bar. Same thing for this one, but it's nice to not have to worry about all the different coins or this and that. You can literally just have that much value in one bar. Now these also silver. These are American Eagles. Again, you'll see these a lot on my videos. These ones were from APMEX. I haven't opened them because there's really no point. They're all the same thing. They look just like, for example, this gold eagle. This is a 1/4 ounce, but they look just like that. They're just silver. These ones actually have a pretty decent premium, especially when everything happened earlier in the year, March to be exact. Something like this, each coin in here was going for 25 bucks, which is pretty crazy. And that's if you could even get it. These were super hard to come by. Luckily, myself, I have a pretty good amount of them, so I'm not really worried about it, and I was in no rush to purchase those. But a lot of people were. And the other thing with these is that the premium that you pay in on the front end, you'll most likely get back on the back end. So they're very popular for a variety of reasons. But these are some of the more popular things as far as stacking silver. Now these bars here, I do have a lot of kilo bars and 10-ounce bars, that kind of thing, if I needed to sell them to get quick cash or something. But as far as over time, I prefer the bigger bars. There are a lot of people that say, oh, it's going to be hard to get rid of because, how is someone going to come up? Let's say silver goes to $50 an ounce. How is someone going to come up with $5,000 for each of these bars? I mean, it's not unrealistic. People pay a lot of money for all kinds of things. Now, on the left-hand side, we have the case for gold. I mean, this amount of value, so, in the 4,000 somewhere, you could carry this in your pocket. No problem. It wouldn't be an issue at all. These are, for example, the 1/2 ounce gold eagles. Sure, if you can see those. They're pretty nice coins. I don't know if they inspire joy individually, but when you start to see a bunch of them, they definitely do make me pretty happy. And again, if you've watched my other videos, I really do like bars. I don't know why. I just do. I feel like there's something about the bars that are much nicer. So when you're thinking about where you're going to put your money, if you're going to get into this kind of thing, which it seems like more and more people are getting involved in the gold and silver space, silver is the gateway. Silver, if you really think about it, silver, has a lot more going for it than gold does. The reasons are because silver, you can stack it as a cheap way to get started. Silver is what, $17, $18 an ounce right now. So, this 20 pack is going to cost you, a couple $100. nothing crazy. But the bigger bars, obviously, you're talking closer to $2,000 per bar. So you can evolve to something like this. The other thing is that when you think about it, silver actually has far more uses than gold, industrially, different things like that. But on the other hand, gold has its own case. Silver, while anybody in the silver stacking community will tell you that silver is a big part of stacking and it's important. Other people who will be primarily the ones who will drive the price up when it happens really only look to gold, which is for good reason. I mean, gold obviously, it's been currency for thousands of years, so it's instantly recognizable as something that has value. Whereas silver, if you try to trade somebody something like this, someone who doesn't know about it, they're not going to be very driven to give up any kind of value to get something like this. So that's the case for gold. Gold, instant recognizability. If you go with something like these, the eagles or the maples, they're very easy to get rid of because any coin shop, any bullion dealer, they'll gladly take these off of your hands, and you'll get a pretty good price for them versus spot. So it's a wise investment as far as getting your money back and ease of getting your money back. Something like the bars, in my experience, they tend to try to haggle you down because it's a bar, blah, 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 blah. Bottom line is, I mean, the least I'm going to take is spot. If not, I'll walk away and find someplace that will give me that. Especially for something like this, as a Valcambi bar. It's, a little bit more expensive than some other mints. But the real key of this video is that, for example, if you look at your bank account and you see, $8,000 or $10,000, for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. As far as I understand, most people in the United States do not have anywhere close to that in their bank accounts, which is kind of crazy because, for example, in California or New York or places like that, cost of living is insane. So it's very eye-opening to know that people don't have that kind of money when emergencies come up, and you see it all the time. I mean, not just yourselves personally, but maybe family members or different things. And so getting into something like this, like you're definitely gonna encounter the haters that say, oh, that's dumb, why are you doing, why are you buying that kind of stuff, what if the value goes down, blah 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 blah. What they don't understand is every day you're holding on to money in your bank account, you're losing money. For sure. Guaranteed. Because inflation, even though the Federal Reserve says that inflation is not much of an issue right now, 2% according to them, that's absolutely ridiculous. It's much higher than that. And if you really know about how they calculate it, it's very misleading. So the key is really not so much that these kind of things are an investment. I guess, in a way that they are, but really, again, it's insurance. It's protecting the value of your money. If the money becomes worth less, something like this is going to cost more. You're protecting the value of your money. Some people think cars are investments or real estate is, an investment. And, cars, I would argue, are probably not, unless it's like a really, rare car and your stuff. Real estate, yes, it is. There is absolutely value there. No one's going to argue that. But the thing is, too, it's just like anything else. You have to know a lot about what you're doing and how you get it. Something like this is much more straightforward. It's easier to get into. It's an easier way to store the value of your money. And that kind of thing is going to become a bigger issue as time goes on. With everything that they're doing right now, the Federal Reserve, with, the whole pandemic situation and the stock market crash, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, those kind of things are going to have a price on the back end. Something like this is where you're going to see the rise in value. This is the way to protect the wealth that you've accumulated. Even if you only have a couple $100 in your bank account, don't let that stop you from purchasing a little bit of silver. Or once you get yourself into the habit of putting that away, it's going to help you in two ways. First, once you get into it, you're going to see the value in it. That's pretty much universal across the board. There are people, I guess, who get into it and it never really catches on. I can understand that. I mean, it's not for everyone, but I mean, for most people, once you start doing it, like anything else, we are creatures of habit. This type of habit is to your benefit. You know, if 5 years pass, you don't get rid of your stack, and the price is now $50. The funny part is, at that time, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a hard time parting with your stack if you really decide to sell it. But the thing is, you've put yourself in a position of strength, which is important in anything. And in my opinion, you know, keeping cash or trying to, you know, see big numbers in your bank account or things like that, those are great. But honestly, they're, you know, the bank account is a means to an end. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to just feel secure because you see numbers in an account? Or are you trying to make sure that, you know, whatever comes down the pike, you're prepared? Something like this gives you one more thing of value that you own. One more thing, gold's never going to go out of it's never going to go out of style. It's never going to be something where it's like, okay, that's not worth anything. No. It doesn't matter whether it's things like this, which are coins, gold jewelry, watches, whatever it is, there's going to be value there. And the same thing with silver. Silver, in my opinion, is a little bit more of like a speculation. Like you're hoping the price goes up. But either way, silver too, even though it's not acknowledged, like by, for example, by central banks or things like that, as, you know, a zero risk store of value, which gold is. This is considered a zero risk asset. So basically just as safe, I would say safer, than your bank deposits. So if you see central banks purchasing something like this, that tells you there's a reason there. Those people are not stupid. They know how to game the system. They know where the value lies. And so this kind of thing is, you want to put yourself in the same boat as them. You want to, just like they say in anything else, you know, you want to emulate successful people. This is the same thing. You want to emulate people who take the time to learn a little bit about things like this, take the leap of faith to start getting into it and start making it a habit, and then slowly but surely you start to accumulate real value. Now, your situation may change in the future. You may need to liquidate your stock. You may need to, you know, God forbid, your stuff may get stolen, whatever the case may be. But the bottom line is, you will have taught yourself something about what it means to keep things of real value versus just relying on a number, a digital number in a bank account. And as time goes on, even, you know, physical dollars and stuff is going to keep going away. Everything is going to be a digital currency. And so in that era, something like this is going to be even more rare, even more sought after, because people who understand are going to have the money to put into things like this. So while it's still not through the roof right now, take a chance, start getting yourself educated and get your feet wet in it. Get yourself one of these. So for example, these are maples, but the American Eagle version of this is the most popular minted or sold, I think, and minted American Eagle. So the 1/10 ounce, which is this, 10 of these make 1 ounce of gold. These coins in the American Eagle form is the most popular gold coin as far as sales, which is interesting. To me, that says that people want a smaller size so that, you know, if they ever need to distribute it, they can, and they don't have to get rid of something bigger like these or bars or things like that. But also it tells me that a lot of people do their stacking over time. Do it in small little things, couple $100 a month, and buy something like this. That's important to know. And so, like I said, like these videos are really just to open your eyes to what the possibilities are and finding your own style for stacking. Again, there are ballers on YouTube that spend thousands and thousands of dollars every month on their stack. Some of it could be they're changing what's in their stack. That's awesome. But some of it is just, you know, there are people out there that have plenty of income to be putting into things like this. And You know, if people put money into stocks and things like that, why can't people put money into things like this that are physical and tangible? So it's all about variety. It's all about diversity. Same thing with anything else. Diversification is important. And so if you're interested in getting into something like this, take the leap, do yourself a favor, you know, get a little something and make your mark on this community. All right. That's it for now. And I'll see you guys next time.